You would know if something were wrong. That's what you've always believed. Pain announces itself. Failure makes noise. Loss demands attention. But what if the danger isn't pain? What if it's neutrality? You wake up, you move through the day, you respond when needed. Nothing hurts enough to force a decision. Nothing excites you enough to pull you forward. You tell yourself this is maturity, that this is what stability feels like, that intensity belongs to younger men with fewer responsibilities. And maybe that's true. But there's a difference between calm and absence. At some point, you stop expecting anything from the future. Not consciously, not dramatically. You just stop feeling pulled towards it. The days began to repeat without friction. Work stayed manageable. Life stayed intact. You became reliable. That's when it happened. Not collapse, not burnout. Settling. Settling doesn't feel like failure. It feels responsible. You start optimizing for ease instead of alignment, for predictability instead of desire. And because nothing is broken, you don't feel justified in questioning it. Who would you be to disrupt something that works? So you stay. You keep going. You perform the version of yourself that everyone recognizes. And the cost isn't obvious. It's not exhaustion. It's not resentment. It's the slow erosion of expectation. You stop imagining outcomes that require risk. You stop rehearsing futures that would demand change. The inner world grows quieter, not peaceful, just unoccupied. You still care, but you don't want. And wanting feels juvenile now. You've learned how to survive without it. That's the trade no one warned you about. Stability gives you protection, but it charges interest. Every year you remain inside a life you didn't actively choose. The cost of leaving rises. Not financially, but psychologically. Because now leaving would require admitting that you've been absent from your own life for longer than you want to name. So instead, you tell yourself, this is enough. That fulfillment is overrated. That longing is unnecessary. That this is what adulthood looks like. But late at night, or in rare quiet moments, you feel it. Not sadness, distance. A sense that your life continued without checking whether you were still inside it. You didn't lose ambition. You outlived the version of yourself that knew how to feel it. That's why nothing feels urgent. Urgency requires belief in a future worth moving towards. And belief fades quietly when nothing demands it. The most dangerous thing about being fine is that it doesn't interrupt you. It lets you drift indefinitely. Years can pass this way, decades, and from the outside, no one would even know. Because nothing went wrong. Everything worked. And that's why this is difficult to name. Because naming it would require acknowledging that something essential went missing without making a sound. This isn't a call to action. It's an observation. About a moment many men reach when life no longer resists them and no longer invites them either. Where comfort replaces curiosity, where stability replaces desire, where fine becomes the ceiling. Nothing is broken. Nothing needs fixing. But something inside you has gone quiet. And the longer it stays that way, the harder it becomes to remember what it felt like to want something enough to move.